First one is our read function, similar to read.table in terms of functionality, but faster and effective with more parameters. Now, let's compare the performance of our base functions to read the big data with the read function using system.time to understand how it is better and effective than our base package to read the big data. Type read.table function to read the store.csv inside the system.time to read the 28,000 rows. Fill is equal to true in case the rows have unequal length. Blank fields are implicitly added. And this system.time will give us the system's process time to execute the line of code. Let's do the same using read function. Read function to read the store.csv inside the system.time. Now we can clearly see the difference in the processing time for the import function. Read function performs 90% faster than the base R package. To know more about the parameters and the features of read function, type read.table read. Read.csv.sql is again another function that uses SQL query as a filter to extract the required data from the pool of millions of rows and columns. It is again a wrapper function of read.csv to segregate the data to handle large files. We will repeat the same technique also for this. First, using R-base function to read the crime data. Then SQLDF to read the crime data using an SQL query select star from file where assault is greater than 10. We can see the difference that SQLDF took a little bit more time than our regular base function to read the file. This is because SQLDF function goes through one more step, that is by using SQL statements to segregate or filter the data. This function is basically very helpful when it comes in reading data from a pool of millions of rows and columns, where our regular base function will fail or will take a lot of time. Now, to know more about the features of SQLDF, just type SQLDF read.csv.sqldf. Next is read.csv.ffdf that reads the input file into FF data frame objects, very much like using read.csv and read.table, but with more effective memory management than regular base functions. Now, to use the function, install the package ff, then using the read.csv.ffdf function to read the store.csv with purpose is equal to true. First rows is equal to 40,000, that is, it will process first 40,000 rows in the first batch, then 9,000 rows for the next batch of rows. Call classes is just we are defining the data types of the variable. Execute the code. Yeah, we can observe the verbose of the first chunk of 1 to 40,000 rows took this, and for the next 9,000 rows from 40,001 to 49,000 took this, and so on. And by adding all this will be the total time taken in the system.time to process the whole import function. We can also export big data using write.csv.ffdf, as well as with our regular function sufficient enough to do the trick. Next, we will see how to import, export and read directly the worksheets of an Excel file.